Hey, it's Dan. One of the bigger storms of the season is on its way to hit the Front Range of Colorado here tomorrow. And I came down to my gear closet to start packing up, getting ready to go ski tomorrow. And I was looking at some of my helmet options. A couple weeks ago, I actually had a, not a bad fall, but bad enough to kind of rattle me a little bit and actually break my old helmet. The nape strap came out of it when a rider kind of came out of the trees and blindsided me. We both went and fell on the hard pack there. It wasn't going too fast. Luckily, I didn't sustain any bad injuries, little bruised tailbone, but the helmet was done after a few seasons. So it was time to shop for a new one. So I went out to 3 or 4 different ski shops and started trying on helmets just from scratch. I had worn a couple different ones through the years, but I realized with this last fall, the helmet I was wearing was a Giro Neo, I believe, which had a decent fit, but I have kind of a weird shaped head. If you have one as well, then stay tuned. This episode is for you. My head is a little more narrow. The kind of circumference is always a medium, but it's a little longer top to bottom. So one of the problems that I have often is getting a helmet that both fits the circumference of my head, but also comes down low enough and doesn't look like it's sitting, with a weird like gaper gap there and not really covering my ears. So I wanted to get a helmet that actually fit tight enough around the circumference of my head, but also came down low enough. And surprisingly, I found that Oakley helmets were a surprisingly good fit. They fit basically all around, and so I kind of came down to 2 different helmet options. One was the Oakley MOD3, and the other one was the Oakley MOD5 MIPS. So this will be a quick review for both of them. As you can tell, they're both Oakley's MIPS helmets, the new version. Both of these helmets have the certification. I believe it's the ASTM F2040, which is, I believe, the North American certification, and then the CEN 1077, which is the European. Apologize if I'm incorrect on that one, but those are the standard certifications. Both of these helmets are certified for that. Both of them also have a BOA system in the back to tighten around. Actually works with the MIPS system inside, and then spoiler alert, they also both have MIPS on the helmet as well for this year. Additionally, they both have a Polartec liner. And really the biggest difference is styling and honestly price point. The price point between these 2 helmets, the MOD3 comes in, I think, retails at $185, and then the MOD5 is $270. So $185 to $270, almost $100 difference between the helmets. Is that going to be worth it for you? For me, I was looking for a helmet that would kind of be the jack of all trades. I do a lot of backcountry ski touring as well as standard resort skiing as well. So I wanted a helmet that was going to be able to do both of those. I don't do crazy climbs. Most of the time when I'm touring, I actually, on my uphill mode, I don't wear a helmet. I have it on my pack, kind of on the little helmet carrier. And then I usually just use my helmet for the downhill portion of that. And that also affected some of the choices that I was going to make. For the MOD3, you can see it has standard helmet design here with the goggle strap in the back. The goggle strap on this one is a kind of a rubber band type goggle strap, and then vents are on top, some vents in the back as well, and then a giant air scoop in the front here for your kind of goggle defogger. There is the vent adjustment here up top as well, and this adjustment will open up basically all of the holes that you see on the top of the MOD3 helmet. The vents in the back, and then obviously the goggle vent up front remain open. Other than that, not a lot of ventilation. You can see not a lot of ventilation on the side. So if you are looking for a dedicated backcountry helmet, certainly one that you are going to use for the climb up due to safety and or comfort, or that's just how you roll, then this might not be the best helmet for you. But it does have a decent amount of ventilation across the top and then throughout that you can open and close. The MOD5 also has the giant front scoop there. This MOD5, you can see the MOD5, the front vent is a little bit bigger than the MOD3. Obviously in the matte black versus the, I believe this is the forged iron color. It kind of blends in a little bit more. It's maybe a little more sleek. The design of this helmet is probably a little more fashionable as well. This is kind of your standard dome helmet. in this gray. It reminds me a little bit of, I don't know, something out of Star Wars. This one's a little more sleek looking. The strap on the back of this one, though, is just a fixed band here in plastic, so your goggles will go up underneath of that, but there's no need to remove it or whatnot. It's also a little more substantial helmet. It does have ventilation up top. You can see this this adjustment here does open and close these vents, but it does not. There are bigger vents than the circle little holes in the top of the MOD3, but there's not as many of them. So there's also some vents. I'll get a close up here later underneath this kind of plastic fashionable piece. But that in of itself is pretty much the ventilation for the MOD5, and then the vents in the back are slightly different, but you can see they're also kind of full-time open, if you will. Both of these helmets have removable ear cups, and the MOD5 maybe has just slightly more of a brim on the front of it than the MOD3 does, although really not much of a brim on either one of these helmets. As far as fit goes, both of the helmets fit very snugly. Certainly if you have a kind of a more narrow head like I do, this will be a great helmet for you. The size that I wear is the medium. I also wear a large in a lot of the other helmets, biking helmets, etc. Again, just for that more coverage that comes down lower, and I just have to really either with padding and or the MIPS or BOA system tighten that around. I didn't have to do that with either one of these helmets, which is one of my main deciding factors to choose the Oakley helmets. I will say the MOD3 fits very nicely for a medium-sized head. The MOD5 is actually a lot tighter fit. There's a little more clamping. So I'll try both the helmets on so you can see the fit. Again, the MOD3 very comfortable. It is the ear cups come fully down below my ears. They don't pinch my earlobes like a lot of other medium-sized helmets often do. I get some really good coverage. And then the band that they have, the adjustment band, they call this the Fidlock system. It's Oakley's buckle system. Is good. It's a magnet that is good supposedly to take on and off with your gloves. And I think I tried that earlier, and that seemed to work pretty fine. Here, we'll do the quick glove test here. With a gloved hand, real easy. You basically just hit this release, and it comes straight forward. I don't think this would come loose in some sort of aggressive wreck, but all it really takes is just some pressure on this little buckle, and I'll get a close up here later for that system to come off, and you can see it just literally locked itself there. So obviously locks very, very easily, apparently even without your input sometimes. The MOD5, like I said, is a lot tighter fit. At least on the sides of the helmet. I felt that it had a lot more clamping kind of in the ear cup area here. I have not removed the ear cups from this one yet. You can see I still got the tags and the stickers. Spoiler alert, you can see which one I'm probably going to return just based on that fit and that clamping. But the other reason that I'm not as big of a fan of the MOD5 is based on some of my backcountry pursuits, and that the weight between these helmets advertised. This one supposedly comes in the medium. They advertise it as a pound. I did not weigh it yet, but I would agree that it's probably about right. And this one is 1 pound 6 ounces. So again, almost a ½ pound heavier for this helmet. Based on that and maybe some of the ventilation, I wasn't as big a fan of touring with this helmet. And again, it's a little more fashionable. I also wasn't as big of a fan of the strap in the back. Or sorry, the strap retainer in the back with the plastic piece. It's probably easier just to throw your goggles up and underneath there. But I like the idea of having something that I could actually close and buckle so that my goggles didn't, I guess, accidentally come out. There is a slight little lip on the bottom of that, and they probably wouldn't fall out, but something to consider if that's what you're looking at. Last, the goggle fit on both these helmets is pretty good. I've got a couple different set of goggles, so I'll show them on, or throw them on and show you the differences here. Obviously, with the MOD3, this would be more my helmet of choice. This is I wear the Smith Squad Chromo Pops are my standard backcountry touring glasses. There's an interchangeable lens. You can work on these as well, and they're just a little bit lighter, which is nice for some for all weather. Again, pretty straightforward. I can get the strap on here very well, and then the goggles fit pretty decent on this helmet. A little bit of a maybe gap on the sides, but other than that, for what I'm looking for, they fit really nicely. And then for darker conditions, I have I do actually wear an Oakley goggle. These are the Prisms from a couple years back. And the Prisms are a little bit darker lens. They've obviously got the mirrored finish there. And you can see how they fit with the Oakley helmet as well. Again, still have a little bit of a gap on either side, but no gap up top. And I think they fit pretty well on the MOD3 helmet here. As far as the MOD5 goes, surprisingly, I wasn't as big of a fan again of the Goggle Fit, namely because of this retention strap, or sorry, retention clip on the back. With the goggles, I run the goggles almost full loose, which puts the kind of all the buckle all together there. And to tuck that up underneath this retention clip, it kind of gets clumsy and the clip sticks out. You can kind of see that. And then likewise, the way the goggles fit, same thing. I feel like there's actually even a little more gap on the side of the MOD5 helmet than there is on the MOD3. So if that's something that you're worried about, again, these are Oakley goggles with an Oakley helmet. You would think the fit would be pretty snug and tight, but again, I feel like there's actually more gap on the sides here than there is with the MOD3 in the same size. So again, looks sharp. It is a very fashionable helmet, but again, just based on some of those features, not my helmet of choice, but if style is what you're going and leading with, certainly the MOD5 is a little more stylish, I would say, than the MOD3. So that's my take. Again, I'm going to ski with the MOD3. I'm actually going to return the MOD5 just based on a myriad of those factors. And yeah, hopefully this review was helpful for you guys. So in the meantime, be safe out there. Again, wear a helmet. I was reading a review in Ski Mag, not a review, but it was an article in Ski Mag about a human factors engineer who'd been doing ski studies since I don't even know when, but the bulk of the research they did was between 1995 and 2012. And said that helmets reduce basically 70% of kind of your non-serious minor concussion injuries if you wear a helmet. Won't necessarily save your life, unlike the helmet of salvation in Ephesians 6, but they are definitely keep you safe out there. And I will say, based on my wreck that I had up at Keystone the other day, definitely saved me a concussion and probably a lot worse neck injuries as well, just based on the MIPS system that I had in my helmet. So wear a helmet, MIPS if you can get it, and for me, I'm going to go with a MOD3. Thanks. God bless. See you guys.